Ladies and gentlemen, the prevailing mentality in Washington is that it's President Trump's fault that really horrendous activity took place. It's his responsibility, he's culpable, and it's 100% entirely Trump's fault because he spoke to people. Actually, his words hit a homing beacon within the minds of zombie Trump supporters, and they worship every thing he says. And because of that, these people, according to media and the Democratic Party, are mindless, and they're so impressionable, and anything Trump says will lead them to do horrendous things. And it is entirely, without a shadow of a doubt, the fault of President Trump. He's not protected under the First Amendment. His political speech isn't protected, and he shares more blame than President Obama does for what took place the past decade in Libya, from a failed NATO intervention where human beings are being bought and sold, and the country has been torn in two with two opposing factions controlling that region, that country, and mayhem and chaos and strife and sorrow and suffering. Of course, that President Obama should never be blamed for an intervention that caused all of this, that he pushed under the guise of saving people's lives, which did not happen. Because if people want to say, well, that intervention saved lives, well, in aggregate, obviously, look what happened to that country. President Obama single-handedly turned Libya into a failed state. If you want to blame President Trump for what took place in Washington, then President Obama single-handedly, without a shadow of a doubt, is to blame. So that's the mentality, ladies and gentlemen. Hit subscribe to this channel because I'm going to get this segment going. Tell your friends about this channel. We're back on our way finally to 200,000 subscribers. I can look and the numbers are now back going up. For some reason they were going down, but I think people realize that the glass is half full and there's a great many things to be happy about, or at least a great many things that are positive on the horizon. Let me fix my shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to this channel. Get this segment going. If you want to support my voice long-term, my Patreon is below. Senate GOP signals it's likely to acquit Trump for second time. Why did I go on and on about how it's President Trump's fault and oh my God? Media and Democrats want you to think one thing and one thing only at all times. You cannot deviate from the prevailing mentality. If you do, oh my God, you're a horrible person. You should never have been born. Delete your Twitter account, which you should do. Check my segment prior to this one. You should definitely do that. The best thing to happen to President Trump was that Twitter ban. It single-handedly is tanking the company right now. They now need a subscription base to generate revenue. So I explained that in the segment prior to this one. But I'll read you this article. It's in The Hill. Senate Republicans seem ready to hand former President Trump his second acquittal in an impeachment trial in a little more than a year after just 5 GOP senators on Tuesday rejected the motion that the trial case. So the 5 GOP senators, of course, are Ben Sasse, Romney, Murkowski, Toomey, who else? Collins, I think. The trial is unconstitutional. He's not even president. You're not going to get John Roberts. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court isn't even presiding over the impeachment trial. Why is that? Because the whole thing's a racket. The whole thing's this farce. So the interesting, what I tried to convey in the first couple minutes of this segment was the following. If Trump is acquitted of what took, if Trump is acquitted for the second time, then all the hype, all the hysteria, the the propaganda, the spin that you heard, stating that it's Trump's fault, that evaporates. It's complete and utter nonsense. Because you have President Trump acquitted twice. They say, well, you're impeached forever. Yeah, you're acquitted forever as well. And he didn't look. Bill Clinton was impeached on a criminal statute. Oh, I said, what is? I never did anything wrong. Somebody up there doesn't like me. So he was impeached on obstruction of justice and perjury. He lied. Bill Clinton lied under oath. Trump did not. What they do with Trump is they use this flawed logic, these absurd leaps of logic, saying because he said something and something happened, it's his fault directly. Well, Clinton had servers for 4 years with top secret intelligence on them. Does that possibly lead to the fact that she wanted to hide her communication? How dare you? How could you ever think like that? Well, Uranium One gave millions into the Clinton Foundation, and then President Obama decided not to veto the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity to a company that was eventually purchased by Putin. How dare you? How could you even suggest such a thing? You think maybe the money had anything to do with it? Oh my goodness, there's no direct evidence of anything. Correlation doesn't equal causation. You can't prove anything. With Trump, anything bad that happens is directly his fault because he should never have even he should never have done what Democrats did for 4 years. Democrats, every single second of every single hour of every single day of every single week of every single month of every single year. Facebook ads stole the election. Oh my God. Twitter bots, Facebook ads, Putin, Russia, okay, comrade. All of this nonsense. They're still going at it right now. They're the ones who had a failed Russian reset. And then when Russia invaded Ukraine, the Crimea, President Obama did nothing. It was Trump who provided lethal assistance, lethal aid. So it's like you have this hilarious. It's not hilarious, but this overt propaganda and smokescreen. They used a dossier for 4 years. They had a special counsel. They found nothing. He was not impeached on working with Russia or Facebook ads or Russian intelligence operatives who, by the way, were indicted based on the viewpoint or assessment or evaluation of a company that was outsourced, Company One. Look at the indictments of 18 Russian intelligence officials. They say, well, they indicted 18 Russian intelligence officials. Yeah, based on Company One's assessment. Then you watch CNN. It's pretty hilarious. I don't want to get into it. Oh, my God. But then they're like, how could you say something without direct evidence? How dare you? And it's like, what? You spent 4 years, CNN and MSNBC, accusing anyone associated with Trump of working alongside Russia based on a dossier and based on James Clapper's high to moderate confidence. If you had James Clapper siding with Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz, would you then trust James Clapper? No, of course they wouldn't. They're duplicitous. Not all of them, but great many Democrats are duplicitous, disingenuous, hypocrites. Not all of them, but many are narcissists. You can't simply spend 4 years trying to undo results that you don't like because Trump, the orange monster nightmare, Cheeto Mussolini, became president. And then you then say, oh, and how many times did Madam Secretary call Trump illegitimate? And then she said with Maddow, China, if you're listening, his tax returns. I mean, these people, it's like unbelievable. And it's another thing, 320 million Americans. We have apparently, that's what I've been told, the greatest democracy in the world. We have the greatest universities, the best economy, the third largest population on the planet. We're the world superpower. And we have one person who's one expert presiding over the entire pandemic for the whole nation. We have one political thought process, political discourse runs through the lenses of oftentimes apoplectic, seething, fuming, hysterical, angry, liberals who call up friends. I just want to let you know, I can't be your friend anymore. Well, why? Because you like Trump. Well, but you're okay with President Obama destroying Libya? You're okay with President Obama being called the deporter-in-chief? You're okay with President Obama drinking Flint water? Sending Americans off to never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts? Presiding over Standing Rock? Presiding over civil unrest throughout the streets of America, all throughout President Trump's presidency? A Senate report? President Obama's presidency, a Senate report that detailed crimes and horrendous things that took place linked directly to President Obama's immigration policies. It was a Senate report. Look it up. No, that's different. These is like mindless people that they just watch CNN, MSNBC, and they just get, their brains are warped. They watch Jimmy Kimmel. Oh my God, Jimmy Kimmel is the morally superior. This is a person who, by today's standards, should have been canceled years back for what he's done. But again, they're duplicitous. They're hypocrites. They want to erase people from history that they feel should be erased. They want to just forget the sins of any person, a YouTuber that wrote horrendous racist blog posts, or an MSNBC contributor that falsely claimed, that lied and said, oh, the Russians hacked her account, and that's why she wrote the bigoted statements that she wrote. I mean, these people run by a different standard, and then they expect to judge and condemn. You can't judge and condemn others when you've committed more sins. These are the televangelists of today. Okay? These are the people, I've sinned, and I wrote a horrible post, a long time ago, please forgive me. And they're forgiven. But God forbid, if it's a conservative, forget about it. And then you have revisionist historian AOC, the scholar, the most brilliant mind of our generation, being refuted by Yad Vashem. And I wrote about that in the Jerusalem Post. Read the article on my website. It's hagoodman.com. I have numerous Jerusalem Post op-eds. I've been published in The Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, the Jerusalem Post, the Roanoke Times, the Federalist, the Daily Caller. So go to hagoodman.com right now when you're finished. Please read my writing. You can see my debates. I oppose the absurd, cube, lame, nonsensical, irrational, dangerous hoax. And we saw what that was all about, which is the most, oh my God. Please, for the love of God, the next 4 years, please don't say anything like, because the future is bright. Like, you could just look, they're about to acquit President Trump again. But the future is bright, but for the love of God, do not, please do not, say things like, I heard, you just don't know. You need to do some research. If you are getting information from a message board, understand that there's a person on the other end writing manipulative messages. So definitely don't look at message boards. Delete your Twitter account. Delete your Facebook account. I say just don't enter a cyber reality. Focus on voting for Republicans that support President Trump. There's an article in Politico talking about how the Pennsylvania GOP completely supports Trump. There's so many things, like in 2022, we can see he's going to be acquitted twice. He has the office of the former president. President Trump will be extremely active. Anyone that he supports will win their primary. And the Republicans who run the House in 2022, instant impeachment of Biden because of Caligula, Biden's son, who's being investigated by the federal government, which is why they impeached Trump in the first place. Which is why it's interesting, they impeached Trump in the first time for what the federal government is doing today. They say, oh my God, how could you ask Zelensky to investigate Biden, your direct political rival? They did that to Trump. That's all they did was investigate their direct political rival. Why do you think they touched themselves in ecstasy when they talk about the Southern District? Is Southern District going after Trump and Michael Cohen? Michael Cohen is a felon, yet totally fine. They love, okay, they have no standards, do you understand? And then they pretend, they pontificate, and they say, oh, don't get me started on the left. The left does not, okay, the Democratic Party does not want Medicare for all, and I don't say this with malice. I've been saying this for 4 years when I was on the far left. I used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. I used to be the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. Then I supported President Trump because he's a great president. Peace between, the beginning of peace between North and South Korea. First president to step foot in North Korea, Abraham Accords. But it can go on forever. But the left gets nothing from the Democratic Party, yet they worship the Democratic Party. And anyone who calls them out, like Jimmy Dore, for example, is doing exactly what a person on the left should do. He wants a floor vote. He wants a vote in the House of Representatives. Democrats control the House of Representatives, they control the Senate, and they control the presidency. What more do you want? What more do you want as a Democrat to implement Medicare for all? But no, it's the whole grift. The biggest grifters are the people who say, no, we're going to pontificate about it and preach and give these sermons and give these moral lessons on Twitter on how people are losing their lives because no Medicare for all. Well, you have the United States government now. You Democrats control what's going on. Oh, that's right. You had no intention of passing Medicare for all. So Jimmy Dore is calling them out. What is he doing wrong? And you see how frightened the left is. My God, you see how frightened they are. No, he's causing division. He's causing division among the Democrats who are so unified. Yeah, right. These are Green Party policies. Join the Green Party. That's what the Green Party wants, or a People's Party. Bernie Sanders and AOC exist to funnel left-leaning votes back into the Democratic Party. The $20 million YouTube people, they exist. They have their own racial discrimination. They had a racial discrimination lawsuit years back, and then they run these segments. Oh, yeah, did you see? Well, watch what's happening. Yeah. Just to put the spotlight away from their potential sins. I mean, these people you're talking, many of them, many wonderful liberals and many progressives. Not all. There's some really great people, actually. There's a lot of great people on the left. Wonderful people. There's a lot of wonderful people on the left. Really, there are. But a great many are duplicitous, and they're liars, and they're petrified and frightened and very cowardly when it comes to confronting the Democratic Party. They believe that the Democrats are their source of power. That's not true. The ideas they have are the source of their influence. These are ideas that, by the way, like if Medicare for all was feasible, it would be a great thing. I don't think it's feasible, actually. I think that's why Democrats, from everybody from Hillary Clinton to Biden to AOC and Bernie Sanders, say, not right now. So they're lying to people. But pointing that out makes you the grifter. Isn't that interesting? It's a warped mentality. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like, I can give you a million analogies. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. President Trump will be acquitted twice. There goes the hysteria right out the window. Oh my God, it's his fault. He was acquitted twice. He's impeached forever. He's acquitted forever also. Nice try. Give me your thoughts. Thank you so very much. Hit subscribe right now.